So my voice is still here after how many protests this weekend, because you have to keep going. You have to keep standing up. You have to keep resisting and persisting. There's so much every day that we see, and when you're in a world with so much death and destruction, so much chaos and confusion, you have to decide what kind of person you're going to be. And I saw those people today. I saw them yesterday. I saw them last night. I saw the helpers, what Mr. Rogers used to talk about. We are at one of the lowest times in our world. We are hurting. We are dying. We have a pandemic. We have black souls screaming from the graves that most people can't even go and say goodbye when people die right now, because so many people don't care. They don't care if there's a virus that you could have prevented. They don't care that when you got in, that Sessions reversed everything that A.G. Holder did. They don't care that when he came in as the stochastic terrorist that he is, that he's had over 54 direct links to complete violence to his name. And, you know, my family and I, we've been watching Avengers. We did the Marvel May because I am a mother. And as much as I teach my child about Jesus and Buddha and his ABCs, I teach him about good and evil. I teach him how you have to be the one that stands up. You can't ignore this, because if you ignore cancer, just like Thanos, Trump now has so much power. Republicans have so much power. Putin has so much power. But the one thing that Putin was the most scared of in 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell down, did it fall down? No. It was taken down. And all of the people who were there, all of the people who stood up, all of the people in their First Amendment rights. Now, you know, many countries don't have First Amendment rights. We are losing our First Amendment rights. He's taking away our First Amendment rights. Right now, in protesters, they're going after journalists. He has, in his steps of fascism, gone after the free press as the first thing that he can do, because if you can make it to where you pigeonhole everything into only watching Fox, into only watching Sinclair, into only watching Trump TV, into only watching now Fox Nation, into only watching, and for many of them, because they don't even go to those sources, they just go to his tweets. Hitler and Goebbels, the reason I am completely blocked on Facebook right now is that I only quoted Goebbels and his knowledge that if you repeat it enough, if you go to the lowest common denominator, if you keep the base at its base, those are my words, not his, because I'm not using quotation marks, I'm paraphrasing, but in Facebook, I directly quoted him, and it was a true quote. And I was banned for 30 days. I'm still banned for that. Yet the Fuhrer gets to say that there's only a good Democrat that's a dead Democrat. And MAGA night, that's a call to his people. Liberate Michigan, liberate Virginia. These are all calls to his people. Once the looting starts, the shooting starts. And what their shtick is, and it's so brilliant, is if you keep pretending he's stupid, if you keep pretending that he has dementia, that he's on speed, that he doesn't know what he's doing, that's part of their strategy too. Their strategy is that this guy is so dumb that eventually he will be taken down, right? He's so dumb, he's so bad, he's so evil And then you just see all your rights being taken away, and the EPA is gone, and all of the things now in this pandemic that could have been prevented when you had everything in place from Obama to predict when a pandemic was coming. And for Obama to keep the cases down, I can remember when Ebola was out and how scared we all were. But I knew that we had a commander-in-chief. I knew that we had a constitutional scholar. I knew that we had a comprehensive, competent, compassionate person at the helm, and we don't have any of that. When I saw Donald Trump come down the escalator after all of the birtherism, after all of the things that I saw in my own life, of all of my family and friends who are no longer family to me and no longer friends because I cut them off, because you can't hug Nazis. You can't hug them. You can't. I don't want to kill them, but you certainly don't condone them. You have to stand up to them. You have to stop them. With voices and votes, never violence. With voices and votes, never violence. With voices and votes, never violence. And I knew back then, I've been fighting for so long, and Republicans would come at me with everything about their staged fiscal conservatism and their staged pro-life movement. But they don't care how many black men are slaughtered. They don't care how many black men are lynched. You will never see them at one of these protests. You won't. And it's because in their minds, just like in their prosperity gospel, just like in their manifest destiny, just like in their survival of the fittest, black people are just weak to them. They're weak. They can't get it together. I got in a fight, 15 years ago. I've been with my husband for 15 years. This was about 15 years ago, of why you don't give aid to Africa. He would look me in the eye and say, they just need to get it together. They need to pull themselves up from their bootstraps. And if they were a competent nation, even though they're a whole fucking continent and there's 5 million countries there, not literally, but there's so much more to that statement, to include colonizers, to include the people like Thanos and Trump, who consolidate all power, take over the courts, take over everything, and the courts being the Infinity Stones. Let's talk about it. If you had the Power Stone, the Reality Stone, the Mind Stone, the Soul Stone, I'm missing one, but once you have all of the power, you've taken over the judicial, you've taken over the legislative. We only have one half of one branch. You've taken over the executive, and you've taken over the press. It's just like Thanos. When you have no emoluments clause anymore, when you don't have to show your tax returns, when you make sure you only have loyalty men, when you make sure that everything that comes out of your mouth is protected by every player that you have put in place. And the only thing, like I said, from the Berlin Wall falling, that Putin was afraid of was the power of the people. He was terrified. So he had a long-term game, a very long-term game. He's the ultimate chess player. He's the ultimate checkmate. But we the people can checkmate him. I believe that with all of my heart, because I saw all of those people for all of these years. When my son and I, we marched in Washington with Jesse Jackson and Reverend Barber for the Poor People's Campaign. When I marched on Washington for the Women's March, when I marched and I marched and I marched in every place from Albany to Troy to Dallas, Texas, to as many places as I have served. In the military, it's the same thing for me. I made a promise to my country to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Foreign Putin, domestic Trump. So I saw them today, the people who care, the people who know that they don't necessarily know what to do, but they know if they show up, that perhaps the power of the protest, the power of the First Amendment, the power of the people can make a difference. And I believe that with all of my heart. That is why I served my country, for your right to protest, for your right to petition, for your right to vote. So please do so. Please. He's going to fight this with everything that he is. He's already going after voting by mail. He's already made the conditions so grave that only the people who are tenacious, that are persistent like that river that cuts through the rock because it refuses to stop flowing. I promise you we can do this. I promise you. We are hurting, we are grieving, we are in pain, we are mourning, we are bleeding, we are reconciling. We are realizing that our original sin will never go away unless we stare it straight in the face. We are a racist nation. Our White House was built on the backs of slaves. The Native Americans are still screaming for justice. We have so many sins. But I promise you, if you say to yourself that I can make a difference, I can be the change I seek, I can do this. When I grab my brothers and sisters' hands that I see every time I go to a protest, I see my family. I see my family of people wanting to be free from hate, free from injustice, free from pain, that seeking, yearning, beautiful, teeming masses that look to that shore, that look to that Lady Liberty, that look to that, to be that light, and to that golden door. Those children are still in cages with coronavirus. ICE is still doing what they're doing. They have consolidated all of this power. And they want us scattered. They want us scared. And they want us screaming at each other. We are the ones we have been waiting for. And I will leave you with this. There's no perfect party. None. No way. Not even close. It's a messy thing, democracy. It's messy. It's messy trying to realize what we do with this Constitution and how we try to make this a more perfect union. It's a messy thing to try to make sure that you have a government for the people, by the people, and we the people. So if you want to be the ones that we are waiting for, you have to be the people who will participate. You have to be the people who don't sit on your phones and sit in your homes and sit on your couches while Black people can't breathe. You have to get up. You have to get out. You have to realize that even if you can't get out right now, physically, you can get out figuratively. You can go to whenweallvote.org. You can go to paybackproject.org. You can go to amymcgrath.com. You can go to jamieharrison.com. You can go to sarahgideon.com. You can go hickenlooper.com. You can go to markkelly.com. You can go to Jamie Harrison. I think I already said that. Amy McGrath, mygirl.com. We only need 4 seats. 4 seats in the Senate. 4 seats. And we take this back. It doesn't matter about the presidency if we take back the Senate. It doesn't matter about the presidency, even though I know we can take it, but that bitch will completely moan and groan and magonite this about how there was all these illegals who stole his election. The illegals that they made that have nothing to do with the color of your skin, but how they have been committing voter suppression. That's how Republicans win. They cheat, they gerrymander, they suppress votes. Look at Brian Kemp. Look what he did to Stacey Abrams. We know this. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Get out the vote as much as you can right now. Do everything you can to get voter by mail. Do everything you can. because that's your duty as a citizen, as a decent human being. But no, he's going to fight it. They're going to fight it. That's what they do. That's what Mitch McConnell does. That's what he's so good at. He's a snake. And he's so good at holding up bills and making sure that we never get rid of Citizens United and make sure we never get any of them, because all of these bills from Democrats are so-called socialist bills. Even though they're trying, Democrats are doing all they can to make sure that we have equal pay for equal work, and love is love, and we have health care for all. And you have to get realistic about what is happening in your government and realize that never in a million years were we at this point with Obama. Never. Obama, we were progressing, and we had so many things, from the repealing of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, to Lilly Ledbetter, to how much he had the private sector job growth rate off the charts. And just like a horrible thing from yesteryear, how these white men come and steal all of this black man's progress. That's what they do. That's in our history books. The black men build it, and the white men steal it away and take credit for it. Trumped. So keep going. No matter what, keep going. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Feel it. And most of all, feel it for our children. We have no more time for this planet. We have no more time for the big disparities and the ranges of temperature that are happening, and things that have never, there's green moss in Antarctica and all the, like, what the fuck? We have no more time. And he's attacking people like Greta Thunberg, and that's what he does, and that's why they love him, because the cruelty is the point. The manifest destiny is the point. The survival of the fittest is the point. The prosperity gospel is the point. They feel that they are the superior human beings. They have hijacked Jesus Christ. They do everything they can to make you believe in their holy war crusades from hell, World War III, Fourth Reich version of this present day hell, present Trump stress disorder, that we just have to live with this, that this is just how it is, and that all government is bad, because that's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is anarchy. I am not throwing away years and years and years and years and years of Rosa Parks and John Lewis and Martin Luther King's and Malcolm X and Angela Davis and Gloria Steinem and all of these people who have fought, Eleanor Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, all of these people who have fought so hard for this democracy. We can't be lazy. We can't be complicit. We can't just sit here. And what I saw today and yesterday and every protest I've ever been in, and all of these years I've been fighting this political fight, is that there are so many people who care. But realize there's also so many people who don't. So you have to save them too. And they're there. You've underestimated them. You have completely underestimated them. You have underestimated Trump. I've said it from the beginning. Quit calling him dumb. Quit calling him stupid. Realize that he has all the power. He's consolidating even more power. He's about to have his Reichstag again. His Reichstag's not one big moment. It's many moments. Do all you can right now. Do all you can right now. But he's not going to go quietly in the night. He knows the power he has. And like I said before, he knows he doesn't have to shoot anybody on Fifth Avenue, because the perfect stochastic terrorist, like Charles Manson on crack, Jim Jones from I don't even know what, the power of Trump to have these people heil him is only comparable to Hitler. They'll do anything for him. No matter what he does, he could do anything he wants, and he knows it. It's the toxic patriarchy, and its pus is pouring all over your face. So spit it out. Go to whenweallvote.org. Go to paybackproject.org. We got 4 seats. That's all we need. I want Mitch McConnell. I'll be on him. amymcgrath.com. She's a badass vet like me. Keep going. Don't give up. I love you. I will be back. Persist.